Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's very nice to be here with you again after taking 1 week off. It felt really good to have the extra time to finish my course. So thank you so much for allowing me that free time. I did finish my executive functioning skills course and I submitted it. So I'm just waiting for it to be approved here on Insight Timer, and it will also be available shortly in my website. So thank you so much. I was looking forward to today's session. And today's session, it's all about intentional and flexible time management. And I decided to do this session because when the word time management comes up, there are so many reactions that I see in people, right? I see people are afraid of losing freedom. Sometimes when we hear that word, we feel constrained. We feel like we're going to be limited. Uh, and I will invite you to share in the chat, how do you feel when you hear the word time management? How do you feel about it? Do you feel free? Do you feel that it's going to allow you to be more flexible? Do you feel that it's going to constrain you in any ways? How do you feel when you hear the word time management? I'm just curious to know before I get started. It's very interesting to know how we feel and how we react to that word, because that's going to set our emotions and our mindset into a specific direction. So Claudia says something that I still find challenging. So Claudia, would you mind to share more about why is it challenging? CJ says I feel focused. Okay, so time management allows you to be focused. Amazing. So that's a positive. So one of the challenges that I have seen many people face, and myself also, when I was trying to manage my time better and at the same time allow for flexibility, is finding flexibility between the structure. Okay. And this is something that sometimes it feels contradictory. How can you create flexibility inside structure? But that's what I want to talk about today. Amy says, I feel confident and competent as an adult. Beautiful. So when you think about time management, there are different things that need to happen. Okay. There are specific things that requires you to be at a specific time doing something specific. So for example, today at 10 a.m. Eastern time, I have to be here to do this call. So this is not flexible. It needs to happen at this specific time. So this is an example of a task that is time bound. It's like it needs to happen at a specific time. But there are a lot of other things that they don't require me to do them at a specific day or time. And that's what I call these flexible tasks that I can do anytime I want. In my case, those tasks may be creating content, recording new courses, writing a blog post, editing videos, whatever I am doing, that they don't have to happen a specific day or time. So finding the balance between those two kind of activities, it's very helpful when you are trying to create a flexible week, a flexible day, and really understand how am I using my time and how can I honor my needs, my energy levels, and the kinds of energy that I can tap into throughout the day. And this is when so many times people are facing a challenge. Maybe they are imposing themselves to do a task that maybe is creative at a time that they don't feel creative. Maybe they are imposing themselves to do a task that is analytical in a time that they don't have access to that energy. They cannot be analytical because they are tired, or they are just all over the place, or maybe it's not the best time of the day for them to be focused on that specific task. So that's why it's important to really understand how your energy level fluctuates throughout the day, what kind of energies are you tapping into and when. And then with that understanding, then it's easier for you to try and schedule the tasks accordingly. The tasks that need to happen at a specific time, they are going to be there at that time and you cannot move them, right? But the ones that are flexible, you can play with them and you can do them when it feels better and best for you. So that's what I'm going to try to talk about today. So Claudia says, because I don't always fit everything. So Claudia, you are having a challenge of fitting everything in your schedule. Am I getting that correct? And this is something that happens, okay? When we are trying to manage our time, and this is why I always invite you to do an exercise called designing your ideal week. Why is that exercise so important? Because when you look at 1 week, Monday to Sunday, you have Monday to Friday. Normally, that's when people normally work. And then you have a full weekend. So you have a variety of times and you can kind of fit pretty much everything that you want to see in your life. Ideally, will fit in a week. So if you want to exercise, hopefully you will exercise during the week a few times or one time or whatever. You will go to work. You will have free time with friends and family members, maybe during the weekend or evenings. So looking at a week is going to allow you to start putting the things that you want to see in that week, and you will run out of space quickly. But that's good. That's good because that's going to help you become aware. That's going to help you be realistic, and that's going to help you be more intentional. What happens when you have a week where every day has 24 hours and then you start putting, I sleep from this time to this time, I have lunch at this time, I need to work from this time to this time, I have to go grocery shopping from this time to this time this day. So you start putting the activities and the things that you have to do during the week, and then you start seeing clearly how much blank space do you have. That blank space, then you can decide how you're gonna use it. And that's when, if you have an endless to-do list or an endless list of intentions and activities that you want to pursue, but then you don't have enough space to fit them in your week, that's when you become aware of, okay, I have way too much. I don't have the time to do all these things. So how can I be more intentional here? How can I prioritize what's important here and what's not? And this is the next step. Once you become aware of that, that's when you are going to decide, okay, now how am I going to use my time and what tasks do I want to prioritize? And then you will look at those tasks, and some tasks may need to happen at a specific time, but some others are going to be flexible. And this is when this becomes fun. When it becomes flexible, I will invite you to then start batching. Okay, batching means thinking about specific tasks that are similar and then batching them together. Okay, so that you can start creating windows of time for those specific tasks. So, for example, in my week, I have tasks. Sometimes I have to do the dishes, I have to cook, I have to clean the house, I have to do garbage. So for me, that's one kind of category. That's household chores. So I try to become efficient I create a window of time, maybe 1 hour, and then in that hour or 2 hours, I try to get them all done because I am on that kind of energy. So I try to put the laundry on at the beginning, I try to maybe put dinner on, I try to do the dishes, and then maybe I vacuum if I have to vacuum, I take care of the garbages, I tidy up the house, and then those 2 hours or that 1 hour for me is a window of time that I am on household chores energy, okay? And I try to batch those kind of things. And that helps me be efficient, and then I don't have to worry about doing that throughout the week anymore or throughout the day anymore. So that's one example. Another example is doing online work for my business. Sometimes I have to sit in front of the computer, and then I have to write an email for my subscribers. I have to maybe create a session and the description for that session. Maybe I have to check my emails. Maybe I have to write something for social media. So to me, that's online work that can happen anytime during the week, but requires me to be sitting in front of the computer. It requires a kind of energy that is creative and a little bit analytical. So I need to be on that kind of energy to be able to do those tasks efficiently, right? So when I feel like doing that, I have my to-do list that is online work. So I will open that to-do list, and then I will look at those things and I will do them. And I create windows of time throughout the week to do that. Sometimes, because that's flexible, sometimes I don't impose myself to do that a specific day and time, because sometimes I just don't have that energy available. So that's why when I am going throughout my week and I am not doing a task that requires me to be a specific time and a specific location, that's when I can be flexible, and that's when I can start flowing. That's when I can check in and think, okay, Emilio, how are you feeling now? Wow, I'm feeling creative. I feel like I can do online work. I feel like going to the library or going to the coffee shop and then sitting in front of my computer and spending 2 hours doing all this work. And I feel inspired to do that. Sometimes I don't have that energy. Just thinking about sitting in front of the computer is like, I just don't feel it right now. So I'm not going to force myself to do that, because I can do it another time. I'm still gonna do it this week, but I can do it another time when I feel it. So this is important, right? And this is something that is going to help you start honoring your needs and start honoring the way that you use your time. The problem here is that you need to remind yourself of the things that you want to work on, and you have to have a system that allows you to remind yourself of that and what's involved with every category that you are creating. So that's when having a brain dump, or having a bullet point, a to-do list, or having a mind map, or having a habit tracker, or having a journal with a page with a specific intention. It doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you are aware of where you are placing your intention and your priority. And then you can go there when you want to do that work, that task. That's what's important. So Amy asks, where does emotional balance and spirituality come in? Time management can become too rigid. My tendency. I think looking at time management through a spiritual lens might help. Yeah, Amy, this is what I'm trying to cover in this session, right? How can we create structure so that we are efficient using our time, and at the same time be able to be flexible and be able to flow and be able to be spiritual and be intentional and mindful on how we use our time. And this is why this is a combination, okay? This is a combination of things that need to happen, and it's gonna look different for each of you, because I share always lots of different tools for time management, but at the end of the day, some of those tools are gonna work for you, some of them are not going to work for you. But at the end of the day, what's important is that you are aware of the things that are important to you. You gain clarity about what's involved for every task or activity that you want to get involved with. And then you look at your week and you become realistic about how long that task is going to take and how much time do you actually have, or how much time do you want to allow for that specific task. And that's why doing the ideal week and putting in that week the things that you have to do, the responsibilities that are non-negotiable, will help you start gaining clarity about how much time do you actually have, like blank time that you don't have to do a specific responsibility. And that's when you can start having fun putting in there the things that you want to work on. Okay, so Amy says, Matthew and I did a digital detox on Sunday. Flexibility is something I fear sometimes, but we found a flow that was relaxing and necessary for us. Amazing, Amy. That's good awareness. Allowing yourself flexibility every week a few times, even if it's 1 hour here, 1 hour there, one evening here, one morning there, I find it very, very healing. Having a blank chunk of space that is not spoken for anything, and you allow yourself to just be present and do whatever you feel like doing, that's really healing. And I try to have that during my week. I try to have those times where I know I can decide what to do with it. I can decide to work. I can decide to practice self-care. I can decide to have a nap. I can decide to do whatever I want. No one is waiting for me in that time. Okay? That's really healing for me, at least. It's really nice to know that I have those chunks of time throughout the week. And they don't have to be a whole day. They can just be 40 minutes here, 20 minutes there, 1 hour here. And that's your time. And you decide what to do with it. Eino says, yes, when it comes to tool, we are very different. My issue is that I have to follow many systems in my work. Trello, Lyra, etc. So free time, I don't use. So Eino, maybe that's for your work, but what happens outside of work? Because I hope that you don't work 24 hours a day. I hope that you have some time for yourself. So when you are at work, work may have specific requirements. Okay? So you have to follow suit. I mean, that's the job that you chose. That's the job that you are involved with now. So you have to kind of follow the structure that they have, or you can improve it, or you can try and do something different. If that's, it depends where you work. Maybe it's very established and you don't have any room to change anything. So when it comes to work, if you are not self-employed, you have to follow whatever systems exist in there. But outside of work, you can protect your time. You can say, this is my time and nothing is going to get in there. Nothing is going to distract me. Nothing is going to like get on the way of that time, because that's my time. Sometimes some people have work jobs that they are connected 24/7. And again, that's at the end of the day, that's a personal choice. You chose that job, or you accepted that job, and you didn't set any boundaries, and then people are expecting that from you. You can also change that. Again, every job is going to be different, but I think you can still find that flexibility between the time that you have control over. So maybe your job is 8 to 5, Monday to Friday, but then after work, what do you do with your time? What do you do with your time during the weekend? What do you do with your time maybe at lunchtime, if you have 1 hour for lunch, or you have breaks between the week? So thinking about those things also can be helpful. And what kind of breaks do you have? What kind of self-care do you practice? And how do you make your day more flexible? That's also something that you can look at. Do you guys have any other questions about time management and flexibility, and how to create a week that makes you feel free and makes you flow? What is something that you are doing that is working for you, or what is something that you are challenged by and you would like to change or to explore new strategies? Feel free to share any of these things in the chat, so that I can be more specific if you guys want to. Some of the things, for example, that I do, like, because as I was saying, I have Travis says, I sleep too much. Well, Travis, is that a problem? And would you like to change that? And then just think about, what is your new intention? If you find yourself that you sleep too much, what would you like to do instead? And how much do you sleep? Because sometimes I, for example, like to sleep between 8 and 9 hours every night. That's a good amount of sleep for me. Some people sleep 6 hours, some people sleep 10 hours. So I think it's very different for each person. But just think about, what new intention do you want to create for yourself? And how can you make that new intention a reality? So Amy says, I like the idea of 40 minutes or 1 hour, small chunks. Truthfully, I don't know what brings me joy in time alone. I think this is a part of what led to illness. Staying too busy and working too much, maybe to cover time with myself. Yeah, Amy, beautiful reflection. And this is something that it's important to become aware of. If you notice that you are afraid of spending time with yourself, that's a clear sign that there is something in there that you need to explore and discover. There is something in there that makes you feel uncomfortable, right? And maybe it's not a good idea for you to plan a whole hour spent with yourself if that's challenging for you, but maybe you can start spending a little bit of time. Maybe you can start with 5 minutes with yourself and do something that you think is gonna be fun, and then enjoy it. And then maybe the next day you do a few more minutes, and maybe the next day you do a walk with yourself and you just spend 20 minutes, and then you start increasing that amount of time until you feel comfortable doing that activity, if that's what you want to be doing. Okay, so you don't have to force yourself to do something that feels difficult and book a whole lot of time, because then it's going to be challenging for you to actually start doing that. But if you start doing a very small amount of time and start noticing and becoming aware and exposing yourself to that in a smaller amount of time, then over time you're going to increase that, you're going to become more aware, your tolerance to that specific activity is gonna get better, and then you are going to start discovering things that you enjoy, things that you don't enjoy, emotions that may show up, why are they showing up, and then you will have an opportunity to really understand why that happens. And I have a really good friend that one day, I remember we were coming from hiking, we were in the car, and then he was feeling anxious. And I asked him, like, hey, what's going on? Why are you so restless? And then he told me, like, I don't feel well, because this was probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 p.m. And we were maybe in 20 or 30 minutes, we were arriving home. And then he was saying, I don't have anything planned for the rest of the day. So I'm just going to go home and I'm going to be by myself. And I am feeling anxiety because I don't know what to do. And I don't feel comfortable being alone. So that was a reflection that he shared with me, right? And then he told me that he needed to fill his calendar to the minute to avoid being alone. So he did some work on that, and then he explored, like, why do I feel this way? And then a whole lot of stuff came up for him, right? But then he's been working through those things over time, and now it's getting better, right? He still prefers to do stuff with people, but he can be with himself, and he's aware of what's going on, and then he doesn't react as much to that, but it's still there, right? So it's nice to be aware of that. It's nice to really understand what's going on. So Aino says, good thing I do gym in the middle of the day, as my days are sometimes long, multiple time zones work. So Aino, you are finding there something that works, and this is what you need to start doing, right? Start being creative about, what can I do to make my day more flexible? What can I do to create variety? What can I do to include more self-care and more playfulness throughout my day? And again, it doesn't have to take a lot of time. It's something that you can do in a few minutes here, a few minutes there, and it can make a huge difference in your day. Travis says, yes, I want to sleep less and use my time more productive. I sleep 10 hours. Okay, so Travis, when you say you want to use your time more productive, what does that mean? Try to be specific with yourself, in the sense of, I don't know, for example, tomorrow I want to, instead of getting up at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m., I want to get up at 8 a.m. and I want to do this. Or just try to be specific, and then try to start taking action on something that is doable, is not too overwhelming to you. Whatever that means to you, just try to start creating a change, and then try to start implementing every day. Try to do that change and see how it feels. Laura says, my attitude toward my time has changed for the better since I started a calendar blocking out scheduled time and free time. So Laura, you took your calendar and you started to block out scheduled time and free time. So basically you have specific time that you are scheduling things in, and then you have a window of time that you are protecting, and that's your free time, and no one has access to deciding what you do in that time. I love that idea. I do that. I block, and sometimes I tell people I have an appointment between 3 and 4, and no one knows what I have. Like, I am going to play squash, or I am going to have a nap, or I am going to sit at the patio and read my book. No one knows what I'm doing. I just have an appointment with myself. And it is true, it's an appointment, but it's not with someone else. It's just with myself or with a friend, or I just have free time. So we all deserve to have free time. Why not? Amy says, I tried on Sunday laying out a bunch of books and magazines, color pens, etc., to just notice what I am drawn to. I did have longer stretches of time reading my Buddhist magazine. Laying in our new hammock, I was very ill, but still had a pleasant day. So Amy, it's beautiful that you are allowing yourself time and space to really test things. Just see what you like. And why can we all do that, right? Like, I don't know what I want. I'm just going to try a bunch of things and then see what I like and enjoy. And that's what I call a testing period of time. And I think that when you are confused, when you are not sure what you like, exposing yourself to different kinds of activities and then seeing how you feel, it's kind of nice, because you discover very quickly what you enjoy and what you doesn't. Travis says, I am opposite. I enjoy solitude more than social time with others. I feel other people drain my energy. Yeah, so it's interesting, and this is why we are all so unique. Some people love time alone. Some people love being with people. For some people, being in social settings drains their energy. For some other people, being alone drains their energy. So this is why it's very important to really look inside and really understand how you function. Understand the activities that make you feel well, the activities that don't make you feel well. Really reflect and question, why am I feeling well being alone, and why I am not feeling well when I'm in a social setting, and vice versa. Why I'm not feeling well when I'm alone, and why am I feeling so well when I'm in a social setting? And then just question everything, understand everything, reflect about that, and then start creating a variety in your day that is energizing to you. For some of you, social time may be really necessary and important. For some of you, blocking free time, alone time, and being by yourself can be very energizing and important to you. Again, you need to discover what the answer is for you and what the recipe is for you on how much time of each activity do you need. And this is where it gets fun, guys. This is where you start designing a week, a day, a month that really feels good to you. It feels fulfilling, it feels energizing, it feels fun, and you are honoring your needs. You are honoring the way you function. And you need to allow yourself that, because at the end of the day, time management should be a tool to help you achieve that, achieve fulfillment, energizing activities, playfulness, and efficiency, doing the things that you want to do, doing the things that you decided to place your energy and intention into, and questioning everything and saying no to whatever doesn't fit your life, whatever you don't want in your life. Allow yourself to just say no to that and start saying yes to the things that you want in your life. Okay? Rosemary says, as much as I resisted doing the prep work you recommended, weekly time log, mind map, ideal week, It was only afterward that I found many hours in my week that I can use intentionally, rather than have the same amount of time just seem to disappear. Small gains that really pay off now. So thank you for your guidance on this journey. Thank you so much for sharing that, Rosemary. For those of you that maybe are asking, what is she talking about? So there are several exercises that I always recommend to help you bring awareness to your time management. One of those exercises is to really become aware of how you use your time currently. And that's what I call doing a time audit. I recommend that you do that for at least 1 week, even 2 weeks if you want. And basically what you are doing, you have a journal with you and you keep track of everything that you are doing during the day. I am checking emails, I am working, I am cooking, I am going for a walk, I am playing the piano, I am sleeping, so you keep track of everything that you are doing. And then once you have the reality of your life, that's when you reflect and then you start setting intentions and priorities, okay? You can then grab a week and then you can start creating your ideal week. That the ideal week can look something like this. You have Monday to Sunday, and then you have the times that you are awake. In my case, for example, I have it from 7 a.m. until 11 p.m. because I like to go to sleep at 11 p.m. and I normally get up at around 7 a.m. 7:30, depending on the day. Okay, so this is my ideal week. I have the things that are time bound in here. All the blank spaces that you see, I try to do activities that are more flexible, that don't require me to be a specific time. So by you taking that week and coloring in windows of time with intention, it's going to help you create a week that is going to feel better to you. And having the reality of your life, of that time audit that you have done, it's going to help you become aware. It's going to help you stop multitasking, stop procrastinating. And when you do that, you're going to catch yourself. You're going to realize, wow, I always write this thing in my to-do, but I never do it. Why is that? Or, wow, I need to write checking emails again. That's what happened to me. I was checking emails like 10 times in 3 hours. And I realized I don't want to write checking emails again. So I'm going to be more intentional about how often I do that. So that's how you start bringing awareness and then designing something with intention and testing it. Okay? Yeah, thank you guys for sharing in the chat. I like the idea you presented of looking to different magazines and things to see what I'm drawn to. Thank you so much for that. So Savarna says, what gets in my way is that I may schedule something, but when the time comes, I don't feel like doing that thing. I want to do another thing. For instance, gardening calls me instead of organizing a closet. Discipline problem or flow? Savarna, this is a beautiful example of checking in with yourself about what kind of energy do you have right now and what kind of activity can you do right now, okay? So if you're trying to organize your closet and it's just yourself doing it, and you want to garden and it's just yourself doing it, so you are flexible in when you are doing those things, okay? So then you can decide when you are doing one thing or the other. If you have hired a professional organizer to come on Tuesday at 10, for example, to help you organize your closet, then that task becomes time bound. That task is going to happen at that specific time. If you are bringing a friend over to help you garden and he or she is coming at a specific time, then you are making that task specific, time bound, okay? If you don't have that, then you can decide when you are going to do that. If you catch yourself, for example, always procrastinating organizing your closet, then there is something in there that you can explore. You can question, why am I always procrastinating this? Is it because I am choosing the wrong time? Is it because I have an emotional charge with what's going on in my closet and I am avoiding that? Is it because I don't know how to do it? because I tried and I don't really know the steps to follow? Okay. Is it because I have other priorities that are more important to me and organizing the closet truly is not that important? I'd rather garden, I'd rather spend time with friends, and then just acknowledging like it's not a priority anymore. Organizing the closet is not a burning priority for me right now. And then allowing yourself to just let it go. Or no, this is a priority and I have to do it. So this is when you need to gain clarity. This is when you need to spend time with yourself and really become more intentional and really question, like, why am I procrastinating this? Why am I choosing this over this? Because maybe that's fine. And then you don't have any trouble. Just get clear. What do you want and why? And just make a decision and go for it. So if you procrastinate doing the closet and you don't want to do it, why are you forcing yourself to do it? What are the benefits that you are looking for? What is your intention behind organizing your closet? Is that intention really appealing to you? Is it necessary? Is it important to you? What happens if you do it? And what happens if you don't do it? Do you need to do it right now? Or can you do it when it gets dark? And then you cannot be in the garden. And maybe you play nice music and then maybe someone comes to help you, or maybe start thinking about all those options and then make a decision with more intention. That's what I will recommend you do. Okay. I also have a live session that I'm recording about finding your closet flow that you can listen to if you want. And I also have a course on how to declutter and create your peaceful and clutter-free home. And there is a specific session to help you with your closet and with your bedroom. So hopefully those resources can help you. But always think about that, reflect about that. Why am I procrastinating this? Why am I choosing this instead of this? And then honor what comes up. Honor it with intention, like this is what I want and that's it. And this is what I'm doing. And if you catch yourself procrastinating something that is really important, then remind yourself, why is this so important? What are the benefits? What's going to happen when I do it? And then try to motivate yourself by finding that appealing reason or reasons to get started. Okay? So let me see. So Rosemary says, live sessions over the months, then coursework. I didn't rush it and that worked well for me. I'm happy, Rosemary, that you found information and helpful steps to follow from the content. Godawari says, time audit. That is my one terrific takeaway I'm going to focus on for the next 2 weeks. Thank you. Yeah, guys, tracking your time is one of the best things that I did in the past. And it's one of the things that allow me to create my week, allow me to be more intentional, and also allow me to get like in sync with my wife and with the way we operate during the week. So this is how it looks like. For example, if you are curious about how my week looked like, so I basically have 2 pages of my journal, and I have from Monday to Sunday. And then every day I started to track what I was doing by just creating a rectangle. So on Monday I create a rectangle and I say, I am playing hearts on my phone. I am taking care of Eva. I am checking my emails. I went for a run. I am doing dishes and making dinner. I have relaxing time. I took a shower. So I have all the things that I was doing throughout the day. And then by the end of that week, I gained a lot of clarity about what I was doing. And then with that information, I was then able to think about, how do I want my next week to look like? What would I like to change? What would I like to keep? On top of that, at the end of every day, I also brought down comments about things I liked, things I didn't like, things that I would like to change. And then that allows me to, the following week, to be more intentional. The following week, I will then tweak things, adjust things, and then test another week. And then the following week, it will get better. And then every week it will get better and better and better. And that's how right now I have an ideal week that I just designed not long ago. And it's just working really nicely. So this one, for example, this was created on January this year. And this is still the week that I'm following now. But it's a week that is full of intention. It's a week that my wife understands and she has in her calendar too. It's a week that we share taking care of my daughter. We share cooking and doing dishes. We share working and going to do sessions with clients. We have specific days, specific times for each kind of activity. And we have a lot of free time. I will say flexible time. Flexible time that allows me to look at my free time and then I say, what do I feel like doing now? I'm going to do online work. I'm going to go to the gym and exercise. I am going to read my book. I am going to record my next course. I am going to write a blog post. So I am able to check in with myself and then honor how I feel, honor what's coming out of me in the moment. And that's what I want you to experience. I want you to have a time for your responsibilities, but I want you to also have a time that is flexible, a time where you can flow, a time where you can look inside and think, I really have a pressing need of doing this activity now. So I'm going to allow myself to do it. That can be gardening. That can be, I am feeling the sunshine through the window right now and I really want to go for a walk. I'm really drawn to this sunshine now. So I'm going to put my favorite podcast and I'm going to go for a walk and enjoy the sunshine for the next hour. And that's what I'm doing. And then you can do it and you can allow yourself to do it. Or maybe you are looking through the window and say, wow, it's so cold outside. You know what? I'm going to watch that online course that I wanted to watch. Or I'm going to listen to this recording. Or I'm going to read my favorite book under the blanket. And then you just do that. So that's what I want you to do. But this comes from you becoming aware, from you noticing the reality of your life, from you starting to bring awareness and intention to what you want and what makes you feel well, and then starting to test that mixture of things and see how you react, see how you feel, and see how your week flows for you. Okay? And the questions that anytime you guys put something in your calendar and you notice that you are procrastinating that thing, you notice that you just move it to the next week, just ask yourself, why am I doing this? And then question yourself, is this important? Is this necessary? Can I say no to this? Can I delegate it to someone else? What are the benefits of me doing this task? Do I have the time? Do I have the energy? Do I have the space? Do I have the kind of energy and creativity to do this task? Start questioning everything until you get to the bottom of it. And then get clear on the reasons why you are procrastinating, the reasons why you don't want to do this. And maybe remind yourself, is this really important? And then try to get inspired and motivated if it is important to you and you really want to do it. Amy says, Emilio, do you and Samantha ever use the Imago practice to design your ideal weeks that are in sync? Side note, I would love another Imago session with you too. So Amy, yes. For all of you who don't know what Imago means, Imago dialogue means intentional dialogue. It's a framework that you can use to communicate intentionally with your partner with a structure that allows you to be heard and respected and understood. There is, if you type Imago dialogue on the search, you will find a recording of a session that I did with Samantha, with my wife, and you can see how we do a real Imago dialogue, and you can learn how to do that. But yes, when we are designing our ideal week, because we are both parents, we have to take care of Eva, we have to work together in the business, we have to make a lot of decisions together. We have to sometimes come up with frustrations of like, I don't like this, or I want to go to yoga on Wednesdays and I can't, or whatever is coming up, we always bring it to the relationship. We always bring it to our communication, and we always communicate what we need, what we wish for, why is that important for me, why is that important for her, and that allows us to understand each other better. That allows us to really understand what do we need and why, and how can we facilitate that. And that's when we come up with a solution that is different. We move forward with a different way of having our week. And that's evolving. Pretty much every month is evolving somehow, because needs change, lifestyle changes, activities change, time change, and then we need to tweak our week so that we can keep evolving too with the needs that we have. So that's why it's important that this is an ongoing process, that every time your needs change, most likely your week is going to change. And then the support that you need from your partner or from the people you live with or from your family is going to look different. And this is how you bring awareness, guys. This is how your week keeps evolving with your life. And when you have to talk about a specific thing, it's easier than if you are overwhelmed and you don't even know what the problem is. That's why bringing awareness and doing a time audit and doing this work at the beginning, it is an investment for you, because then after, you're going to be tackling very little things compared with tackling your entire week at once. It's going to be very overwhelming. But if you are doing the work, you are noticing, you have something to reflect on, and you are always tweaking something that you have already tried and trying a different approach, you are constantly evolving and adjusting and perfecting something. You are not starting from scratch. So I hope that guys, helps you. For things that must get done, do you ever just force yourself, or do you not recommend that? Amy, for things that just must get done, for example, these live talks, I had a really huge resistance on putting these talks at a specific time and me having to show up. But for me, my work was, I need to learn how to commit to things too. I do have a lot of flexible time during the week. It is okay if I force myself into committing to something that will happen at a specific time. So that's also part of my work. So it is part of my learning to be able to show up for these calls, to be able to set my mindset and my energy to the right energy to be able to show up for you guys. And it's part of my work to be able to do that at a specific time and at a specific day. So for me, that's something that sometimes I have to force myself to do it. Yes, I do. But sometimes that's also part of my work. And I remind myself, why is it important? What happens if I don't do that? Well, if I don't do that, I wouldn't be able to be here with you guys. You wouldn't have consistency from me. And then I don't want that. I want consistency. I want community. I want keep learning. I want to keep researching topics. I want to keep being in accountability with myself and with my work. And doing these live sessions is helping me with that too. So for me, I remind myself of the benefits. And then I remind myself of why it's important for me to show up. But I don't do that every single day. I have days that I try not to schedule anything that needs to happen at a specific time. And then those days I allow myself to flow. So that's my balance right now. That's what it feels good to me. It's going to look different for each of you. So you need to find what your balance is. Okay? Okay, guys, time is up. I hope that this session brought some insights to your time management. I hope that this session helps you be more flexible between the structure. Okay? That's what I really wanted today. Learn how to bring flow, freedom, and flexibility into something that is structure, into something that is tangible, into something that we all have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. How can we use that time in the best possible manner so that we feel fulfilled, we feel energized, and we feel happy with how we use our time. So I hope that this session helped you bring some awareness, help you bring some tools, some new strategies that you can try and use. And I have past sessions about time management that you can listen to. I have one about ideal week. I have another one about like a couple of few books that I covered. The One Thing, Essentialism, Time Management from the Inside Out. So there is a lot of content already that I have created that you can listen to. But today's intention was to help you bring flexibility to your time management. So if you have any specific questions, feel free to share them in the circle, or feel free to connect with me, social media or email or however. And I would like to ask, what do you guys want me to cover on Thursday? What topics would you like me to cover in next sessions? I would like to know what are the topics that you feel inspired to learn more about, and why, because I would like to start planning sessions that you guys ask me for. I don't want to come up with the topics myself. I just rather listen to your request first and then try to facilitate that. So are there any specific topics that you guys want me to cover? Imago technique in relationships. So Amy, what would you like me to cover differently? Because I have two sessions about Imago dialogue that I explained the structure and I did a real one. So what else do you need from that? And then Travis says, focus awareness. So what does that mean exactly, Travis? Focus awareness. Savarna says, discipline for those who are more flow focused. So how to bring more discipline? Changing careers, figuring out what you like and are good at. Amy says, communicating on how to create quality time together, honoring individuality and relationships. Mindfulness, awareness of the moment. Okay, so Amy, you say communicating on how to create quality time together, honoring individuality and relationships. So in here you are talking about how can you create a week that has individual time and that has couple time that you agree on. Yes, in the context of Imago. Okay. Okay, I will think about it and I will see if I can come up with a specific session about that. Yeah, that's a good topic. How to include individuality and quality time with other people in your week. I like it. I will do one of those. Amazing. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you on Thursday, and I think the topic will be how to create individual time and quality time with other people in your week. So because that way we keep following the time management topic. Amazing. Okay, guys, have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you on Thursday. Okay? Adios.